Welcome to the show, folks. This is Catfish Kyle. This is your first time tuning in. I catch catfish and other fish in the Oconee River, mainly in middle Georgia. We're out here this morning. It's pretty early. It's right at 7 o'clock. I've got one live piece of bait on, little bluegill, and I've got the head of a warmouth on my other pole. We're going to see what we can do today. Our hope today is to catch some nice catfish. We also going to put out a light reel, see if we can maybe catch some brim, smaller catfish, stuff like that. Something I want to mention though today, we had a fella who watched our show, was a really good friend of the show. His name was Jimmy Dunn, and he passed away. He was only 52 years old, had some heart issues, but he was a really good friend of the show. He sent me weights, lead, stuff like that to help me out. Really a blessing of a man. I want to dedicate today's show to him. Fellas, we don't know, or folks, we don't know how long we've got on this earth. 52 years old isn't very long. Not much I can do for Jimmy now, but I can dedicate this show to him. He's one of us. Let's catch some fish for Jimmy today. Well, I've seen a lot of things, y'all, but I hadn't seen this before. I'm sitting here fishing, and out of the woods comes two dogs, and they jump in the river. I reckon they're gonna swim across the river. I mean, they just come right out of these woods here. Didn't pay me any attention. Got in the water there and just started swimming. I have never seen that in my life now. I mean, I've seen dogs swim in the river, but got the dirt all mixed up here. I don't know if this is gonna be a good spot now or not. Got something on there, y'all. Might be wrapped up on something down there. Guess if I'm in a real rooty spot right here. He's moving though. He's moving, y'all. Catfish. Come back here, buddy. Yes, sir. Nice catfish. Nice channel catfish. 7 or 8 pounds, I bet you. Caught him on that, what I call a warhead mouth. Using a rattle today too. I don't usually do that. I'm trying this little floating rattle. Beautiful channel catfish. I might keep this one because there's a couple of folks that want to fish. I might surprise them with it. Compliments of Mr. Jimmy Dunn. What y'all think? That's a good eater. Hey, 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 it's okay, man. It's all gonna work out in the end. I caught this catfish in the shallower water. I was up there in that deep swift water. I moved down to the edge over here and saw all these roots and everything, and it's not near as deep, but that catfish was laying right out there. Ah, he's got me under something, y'all. It's hard to reel up under these trees too. I got him off. That's a bass, man. Man, what a bass, y'all. Golly. It's a big bass. Off the river. It's That's a big bass, man. Look at this thing. Telling you what, son, old Catfish Kyle can catch the bass too. Caught him on a live brim. I'll go weigh him, then we'll put him back. All right, y'all. He was a little over 3 pounds. We're gonna put you back, buddy. Thanks for stopping by and seeing us. What we got here, y'all? Could be an eel, y'all. It is. I mean a big one, son. A Don Melton size eel right there, y'all. I tell you what, we might have to give that eel to Don Melton. He's been a good boy. He's been a good boy. And I got enough eel bait. Look at that sucker. Look at that sucker, boy. You know, sometimes when the fish aren't biting real well, like today, it's good just to scout and see if you can find some areas maybe you can catch bait fish in. Look at there. I just dropped that off the side and look at what a brim, y'all. Good night. You ain't never. Son. Boy, that was set up perfect. Boy, I was just talking to y'all and man, praise God for that. That is a beautiful fish, y'all. Like I told you, I was just gonna see if I could catch some bait right here. I dropped it off the side of the boat. That's a big old piece of flathead bait right there. We're gonna have to keep him for Don Melton. Let's see if we can do it again. Just drop it off the edge like that. Well, I couldn't have planned that any better. He was just sitting down there waiting on it. There's another bite. You know, when the catfish ain't biting, find a way to have some fun. Look here, got another one. Good night, look at there, it's another good one. Another good one. All I'm using here is some red wigglers, y'all. I'm gonna drop it down there and see what happens. I'm just dropping it. I mean, it ain't 2 feet deep right here. There's another bite. That's good brim for the river. Brim, bluegill, whatever you want to call them. That's a good size for the river. There's another bite. See, that's what I mean, you know, if the catfish ain't biting, don't give up, just change gears a little bit. You always need to look and see if there's places you can find to catch bait fish at. I never fished this little spot. I've passed by it 100 times in the river and never fished it. And to be honest with you, I come up here because of the shade. I had my cut bait out there, wasn't getting nothing on it. So I decided just to drop it off the edge of the boat here. See what happens. Here's another one, y'all. And they are all good. I'm telling you, man. They are all big. Man. Man, you can have fun doing this. Let's drop it again. You can have a lot of fun doing this. I mean, that's 3 big ones, back to back to back. It's just not real common for the river. Oh, that's a small one. We'll throw him in the bait bucket. Another one, y'all. I backed up a little bit. Oh, I'm in this tree. I backed up a little bit. I caught a few more off camera. Caught a little bass. Some other ones that were small. That's a keeper though. That's a keeper. I just backed up about 25 feet from the spot I was fishing. It kind of stopped over there. So I backed up a little bit to see if anything was happening here. Seems like I've caught the good ones, the bigger ones. But I'm gonna remember this spot, buddy. Beautiful spot here underneath these trees. The river's at 4 foot though, so if it was at 5 or 6 feet, you couldn't get in here. I think I'm gonna move on though. I gotta find the shade, y'all. It is hot today. It's in the 90s. We got one. It come off, y'all. Fishing with a whole live brim here. He scuffed him up pretty good. Old boy's about dead. Could have been a gar. Folks, today's video is dedicated, to James Dunn, Jimmy Dunn. Jimmy, I never met him in person, but he watched the show, and man, he sent me messages. He sent me some lead. He was a real blessing, and only 52 years old, and he left this world. One day it's going to be your last fishing trip. You just don't know when that's going to be. This right here, this might be my last fishing trip. I don't know, but when something happens like this, it just reminds you about what's important in life. Fishing's a wonderful thing. If you get the opportunity and you love it, go do it. My encouragement that I have is my faith is in Christ. I believe the words of Jesus where he said, God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life. And I believe that through Christ my sins are forgiven, and that if it were my last fishing trip, I believe I'd go to heaven. And I believe that I'd be with him forever and ever and ever. We got to think about stuff like that. One day it's going to be our last fishing trip. I'm getting a bite right here. But this show is dedicated to Jimmy Dunn today. I believe this is a gar hitting this. We honor him. We appreciate him. He's a real nice fellow to me. And I appreciate all he did. One on my reel here, y'all. Look at there, another nice little brim. Well, we know for sure what's biting right now. It's the brim. Other fellas are telling me that they're not really catching any catfish either. Catfish bite just is not on right now. The spawn should be about over, but it must not be. You're gonna let this little fella go. We're about to wind up today. Look there, y'all. Another good brim. Another good one. Might keep this one. I'm giving these fish to somebody. A couple that didn't want me to give them some fish. An older couple. Well, folks, I got some gar messing with me right now. That kind of aggravate me. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to move because it's late anyway. It hadn't been too bad of a day. You know, I didn't catch catfish, but I wasn't stubborn. I decided to try to catch some other stuff. We caught some real nice brim, caught an eel. I'm going to take those brim and that catfish that I caught, and I'm going to give it to a couple in their 70s that's been asking me about some fish. I know they'll appreciate them. I'm going to take that eel and I'm going to give it to Don Melton. Don't forget, y'all, to be in prayer for the Jimmy Dunn family. He was one of our subscribers. I never met him in person, but we talked online, and like I said, he was really nice and sent me some lead, and man, that's really appreciative because I use a lot of lead. We're gonna miss having him on there. I'm getting a fish right here. All right, maybe this one's hooked up. Or what this is, y'all. I've been playing with gar down here, and I don't know if this is a gar or not. It's usually real hard to hook them gar on circle hooks. Ah, he let go. It was a gar, he let go. Got him right up here to the boat. But anyway, you never know when it's your last time going fishing. Think about old Jimmy Dunn and his family. It wasn't a bad day, y'all. We changed gears, caught a few fish, gonna feed some people. Hey, don't forget to like this video if you would. And as well, if you'll comment on it, all that stuff helps me. If you hadn't subscribed, why don't you subscribe? That'll help me too. Appreciate y'all. All of you for tuning in, especially those of you who've been here since I was fishing with nothing but a little boat in a creek without a motor. I appreciate all of you. Till next time, this is Catfish Kyle. I'll be seeing you.